Imagine that your telecommunications company or your bank put all their data in a single table. The transactions, the customers, the employees, everything they have to save, or all the data that they have, they put it in a single table. How do you think data retrieval would look like? Very tedious and very slow, right? That is why we need joins. Hello, if you've seen my video for the first time, I'm Oluwatoyin Joy. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. We have created this channel to share the joy of problem solving in data. And if you're looking to learn anything at all in SQL, you are in the right place. You definitely have value for your time. Now back to joins. We have established that we cannot save all our data in a single table. That would be very tedious, very inefficient. So now that we have decided to save our data in different tables, how do we bring them together? How do we know which customer performed what transaction to which employee attended to them? That is the function of join. And we have different kinds of join. We have the inner join, the outer join, the right join, the self join, cross join. But in this video, we'll be dealing only with inner join. I've created different videos for different kinds of joins so that it's not too long and it does not bore you. So in this video, we are only talking about inner join. Now, when should you use an inner join? An inner join allows you to get only the values that are common between the tables you are joining. So for example, you have A to Z in one table and you have A to X in another table. When you do an inner join, you only get A to X. Y and Z from one table that is not in the other table will definitely be ignored. It would be taken out because we are doing an inner join. And what are the things that you need to do a join? You need a column that is common between the tables you're joining. You're joining one table to another. You need a column that is common. The name of the column might not be the same. It can be customer ID in one table and it can be customer number in another table. But the data in that table or the values in that column, in those columns, has to be the same. So if you have customer ID in one table and customer number in another table and both of them are the same, then you can do a join. Without your similar column, you cannot do a join. So what is the criteria for us to do a join again? You need a column that is on both tables. Data type has to be the same. If your data type is not the same, for example, if customer ID is saved as text and customer number is saved as integer, though the values are the same, you still have to change the customer ID to integer or you change the customer number to text depending on how you need it or what you need done. But usually we would change the text to integer if everything is number. It wouldn't store in the first place if everything is not number. So now that we have settled our condition for a join, let us get into the computer and see how inner join works, when you should use them, and how to use them. Okay, so I have this insurance database that I have created with dummy data. I will attach the file in the description so that you can follow along on your own and you can run these queries by yourself. You can download the file, save it, run it on your SQL server, and also do some examples on it. So I've created this to solve the different examples of join that we have. So right now, the question is, get the details for all claims that are approved and find specific policies that they are tied to. You know that we have promised to share examples that you can find in your normal work life that will be useful for you in your normal work life, and this is one of them. You need details for all claims, but there is a caveat. It has to be approved and give the policies that they are attached to. So now we have claims here and we have policies, so that means we have two tables. Now let's check our claims table and our policy table and see what is similar between them. Running this, I see that I have my claim ID, policy ID, and here on my policies table, I also have my policy ID. If you look at these two tables, what are the values that are common between these two tables? If we identify them manually, of course, in your normal real work table, the tables will be larger than this and you will not be able to identify them manually. But for this example, let's try to identify them manually. We have auto 0001, auto 0002, and auto 0004. So out of 6 policy IDs on policy, only 3 of them are on claims. So when we are using an inner join to join this, only 3 policies will come up. Now let's try that example. I would paste my query here. For our where clause, I connected to customer because I wanted us to bring something from customer, but in this case, let's just limit it to claims and policies. And if you notice here, you see that I wrote a C in front of claims. That is what we call aliasing. I've mentioned aliasing for columns before, but we can also alias tables, and aliasing tables helps us to simplify our joins, because when you're joining, like I have mentioned before in this video, you need a column that is common between the tables you're joining, and for us that column is policy ID. So if you have your policy ID, you can't just write policy ID, and there are times you have really big table names. So instead of writing the whole of the table names, you can just put their alias and say C, for in this case where we used C for claims and P for policies. You can actually use any value for your alias that is convenient for you and that would be readable for anyone who is reading your query. So now let's do this inner join and run it before we put the condition. So we have our inner join. It shows us 3 values. Those are the policy IDs that we have identified before. But now we still have a caveat. It says that we only need policies that are approved. So that is why we needed our where condition. So even after your inner join, you still need a where. And if you wanted to also include probably the name of the customer, so you can come here and say cu dot name. I don't know if we have name on cu. So I checked and it is first name. So I have added my first name to this, just to show the first name of the customer that had this policy that has been approved. Now, if we run our query again, you see that we have our claim detail, our policy detail, and the first name of the customer that purchased that policy whose claim has been approved. This is just to show you that you can have more than one join in your query. You can have as many joins as you need. So far you're using the correct join, you're good to go. Now let's do a recap. In this video, we have learned about inner join. When do you use an inner join? You use an inner join when you only need values that are present on both tables. If the value is present in one table and is not in another table, you do not need it. Then you need to use an inner join in that case. If you need all the values in one table, like my A to Z example, you would be using another join. We'll be covering that join in our next video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that when I upload another video, you would be notified. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.